Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, January 14th at 11:30 a.m. And I just realized I've been so preoccupied with everything that's been going on that we are moving into a Mercury retrograde. It's coming, as if we don't have enough problems. Now we got to deal with Mercury retrograde. So this is the first one in a while that's been in air sign. We're going to have 3 of them this year that will be in air signs. So we're going into Mercury retrograde in communications, which is what Mercury rules. So it may be a little bit more rough than usual. So it goes into retrograde on the 30th of January at 26 degrees of Aquarius, 29 minutes. It goes out of retrograde on February 20th at 11 degrees of Aquarius, 1 minute. And we are now in the shadow period, which means that it's going over places that it's going to retrograde over. Like it's moving forward, and then it's going to retrograde back over that area. So we call that the shadow period. And when it comes back, there's another shadow period because it goes back over what it already had gone through. So it's kind of like endless. So the shadow period starts tomorrow, the 15th, because today's the 14th, right? And it ends completely on March 13th. So it looks like all of February will kind of be a retrograde mess. So it's not like we haven't had enough to deal with. Now we have to deal with this. And of course, this is a little pesky thing. It's not like the big horrible stuff we've gotten with Pluto, Saturn, Uranus, you know, the big planets that retrograded and conjuncted and squared each other. And this is like a little pesky thing, like a little fly buzzing in your ear. Maybe a little more than that, but Mercury is a planet of communications of all kinds. So that would include any contracts that you're signing, documents, your mail, and also the internet, because this is the main method of communication now, is through the internet. And Aquarius rules friendships, groups and organizations, technology, long-range goals, innovative ideas, communications, thinking, adaptability, and information. And it also rules astrology, and it also rules computers. So we will see. Retrograding, when a planet appears to go backwards, it doesn't actually, but it appears to go backwards from here, is a state of introspection, because the sky is divided up into different signs. And when it appears to go backwards, it looks like it's going into the, moving backwards into the sign that it's in, or possibly even into the sign before it. So it's all a visual thing. It's not an actual thing. This is a time to not start new projects, including new relationships. It's not a good idea to begin a relationship during a Mercury retrograde, but, you might want to. I mean, you can't stop progress, It's a time to review your long-range goals. So that's part of Aquarius. And long-range goals are something that everybody should make, whether you have a business or you have a personal plan or your spiritual life. I mean, where do you want to be in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? Where do you want to be? Are you in school learning something now, and you're going to be in your profession in another 2 years or 5 years, or however long it takes? It took my kids a long time. So, or have you started a business? Where do you want your business to go? And if you've already made a plan, this is a good time to review it, because you may want to make changes. You may want to, update it. We've had this pandemic, which has really put a lot of people off their game plans. We all had game plans, and now we have a pandemic, and you know, how is that affecting us? How is that affecting our business plans? So, you know, we've had to change, like I've had to change my business plans. My business plans revolved around, you know, my place of work, a physical place. And, you know, I've had to bring it online. So that's a change in plans. That's a review. So you might want to review your long range goals and see how, you know, you can make them viable for this time that we're in. And I don't really believe that, you know, we're going to go back to where we were. So you need to really check and see how, you know, how you can fit in this new world, how your life, how your business, how your work, you know, how does that all fit in this new world that we're in? Because we're in a very new world. It's a time to reconnect with old friends. It's a time when, you know, an old friend may come back into your life. And it's a time for intellectual growth and inner reflection. So it may be that, you know, you made decisions or, you know, you went on a certain spiritual path. You could change your path. You could change, you know, how that comes into the world right now. It also rules the computers and the internet. And my computers always go cuckoo when Mercury goes retrograde. So, you know, be careful what you're doing. I wouldn't install any Windows updates when Mercury's retrograde. You know, and, you know, you might have computer glitches. So, you know, double check, make sure that things are going through. You know, maybe you sent an email and forgot to push the send button, things like that. You know, I once sent out a very important check. Not that I write checks anymore. This was a while ago, but a very important check, and I forgot to sign it, and it had to be there by a certain time. So, of course, it was late. Excuse me. We're in a real Aquarian year, so Aquarius to me is peace, love, and brotherhood. So I think it's a good thing, but it may be painful.